It's a boldface question. Step 1 is to identify the conclusion of the paragraph. What is the conclusion here? This part is the conclusion that their reasoning may be short-sighted. Okay, and therefore this intermediate conclusion that bothersome reports must be incorrect has been contradicted by the main conclusion. The main conclusion is that the bothersome reports may be correct. Step 2 is to link the two boldfaces with the conclusion. See, the first boldface here is a circumstance that the argument explores, and in the process of exploring the circumstance, assessing the circumstance, the argument comes up with this intermediate conclusion here, and it comes up with the final conclusion here. And how is this second boldface linked with the conclusion? The second boldface supports the main conclusion here. So with this groundwork, let's look at the answer choices. No, the argument is not trying to explain the circumstance. The argument is trying to assess the circumstance. See, the argument is not trying to explain why news channels began reporting whatever it is. The argument is trying to assess the circumstance and its consequences. It is not trying to explain. So this part is not correct. Look at the second part here. No, the second is not an explanation that the argument is trying to establish. See, the argument is not trying to establish any explanation. The argument is simply trying to say that this optimistic view here may be short-sighted. The argument is not trying to explain this phenomenon here. This is a fact. This is something that is actually happening. News channels are reporting such approvals. In case you chose answer choice A, you were caught in the vocabulary involved. Yes, eliminating answer choice A is not very easy. It is very nuanced. A lot to be learned from the elimination of answer choice A here. Look at answer choice B. Yes, this part is a concrete fact, so this can be called an evidence, and yes, it is something which is supporting a conclusion. Remember, this a conclusion bit is meant for suggesting an intermediate conclusion, and yes, this part here, this evidence is supporting this intermediate conclusion that the bothersome reports must be incorrect. So this part is all right. Look at the second part here. The second boldface expresses something contrary. This is all right, but no, it is not a conclusion in itself. See, this simply talks about a certain practice, okay? And this practice has been used to support the main conclusion here. This is the conclusion that the reasoning, the optimistic attitude may be short-sighted. So to call the second boldface a contrary conclusion is not correct. Answer choice B should be eliminated. Look at answer choice C now. Yes, the first part can be called an evidence, but no, it is not supporting the argument's main conclusion. So this part is not correct, and no, the second is not stating that conclusion. Second is not a conclusion. Second is simply a consideration, a practice. And C saying that the first supports something and the second is that thing is not going to be right. The first supports this intermediate conclusion here, and the second boldface is something which leads to a contrary conclusion. So to say that the first is an evidence that is supporting the second, that cannot be correct. So a lot wrong with answer choice C. This should be comfortably eliminated. Answer choice E has a similar problem as what answer choice A had. Same problem here. No, the argument is not trying to explain the circumstance, it is trying to assess it. And the second part, no, the second cannot be called an evidence. And once again, the argument is not trying to establish any explanation, as suggested earlier while explaining answer choice A. See, answer choices A and E are very similar. Both of these are traps. Both are incorrect. Let's confirm answer choice D now. The first can be called an evidence because it is a concrete fact, and yes, this has been used for supporting a conclusion. A conclusion as in an intermediate conclusion here that the bothersome reports must be incorrect. And then second provides a reason. So calling it a reason is alright, and this reason, yes, questions that support. Yes, that's correct, because the second boldface has been used for leading to a contrary conclusion here, and therefore this second boldface has been used for questioning support for the intermediate conclusion here. A very interesting question, a lot to be learned from this one. D is the correct answer choice.